Outer Orange.
This is Twitter, specifically Fuzzy Paradox's Twitter. VRO just ended for 2023. This was V Premium. I was casting with y'all, so if you guys saw my beautiful face while we were going through this, we had 3 regions to go through. We had AO, EU, and NA, and obviously I casted for NA region with Fuzzy Paradox and TIE Fighter, and today we're going to be talking about pretty much the results, sort of what looks like what happened over the weekend, and just kind of get back down to business. For top 8 V Premium, we had 5 Gear Chronicle, 1 Grand Blue, 1 Shadow Paladin, and 1 Royal Paladin. I was expecting less maidens. I will be honest with you guys. I was expecting less maidens. Am I surprised there's more? A little bit. I honestly think maidens is good, but I also think some other decks are also not too far away from the strength that maidens provides. However, I do think maidens is consistent enough to where even in unlucky situations, you do have a chance to come back, where I feel like other decks still can't keep up as easily, maybe because of the Adriana Gear Cat combo and kind of a couple other things the deck does. The Great 4 shield that provides. There's a few little things that kind of make the deck ticks a little bit better than other decks. But going on in, let's talk about, we also had Grand Blue, Shadow Paladin, and Royal Paladin. A while back I mentioned to y'all that I think some of the top 5 decks, one of them being Night Rose actually, and actually I still stand by that. I think Night Rose is actually a really good deck, pretty good contender into current meta. I think it performs very well. It doesn't really have too many bad matchups. It kind of does this thing. It more dies to itself than it dies to what your opponent's playing. Similar to Luard, actually. Luard is another deck that more dies to itself than anything else. And actually, I think Luard is the second best deck in the format, probably. Very strong, very consistent, does a lot of stuff. If you build it correctly, you know how to pilot it, you'll be insane. And if you guys haven't seen, we had Man Long over in NA pilot the deck perfectly. Man just knew exactly how to play Luard. It was insane. I haven't never seen a Luard player know what they're doing to that degree. Like, I've seen some Luard players perform well, but this was like fast, efficient, and performance was really peak. Man really didn't make any mistakes. It was really solid to watch. If those VODs ever go up a higher, recommend checking those out. You really see some very top level competitive play, especially since also Man Long was also last year's champion for V Premium as well. So good stuff to see there. But anyway, we also had Jewel Knights. Jewel Knights is a very like garbage tricky type of deck, kind of can blow people out pretty quickly. So sometimes that deck just randomly wins games, and it's pretty fast too. It's not a very slow paced deck. It just kind of turns on and that's it. Like it's GG or not, as long as you ride reverse actually the game ends pretty quickly, so it's very scary. It has a sentinel regard restrict on it. It's goes through deck really fast. So here's AO's V Premium top 4. So this is the final results. First place being Anthony Sane with Steam Main. Second place is Art with Luard. Third place is Sackmaster, which is actually someone I know. I won't give the name out since they chose not to give it here. I won't say who it is, but it is someone that is dear close to my heart, that I love to death. So congratulations, I'm glad you made it through. And also we had Techno Eagle with 4th place with Night Rose. So essentially pretty much the Jewel Knights didn't make it, and a couple of the Steam Mains didn't make it, and we have 1st and 3rd with Steam Mains. Again, not really liking seeing this kind of stuff, but it is what it is. Can't really avoid it. Luard taking 2nd. As I explained, I do think Luard is the 2nd best deck in the format, so honestly I think this is very fitting. And Rose and obviously their Steam Main is in 3rd and 4th place. Now the Rose deck, like I said, I actually think the deck is pretty good, but it is a Protect deck into a Force deck, so I will say Rose into Maidens is not the best matchup, but Rose into all the other decks actually really good. I think the deck performs very well. I think there is a piloting system. If you pilot it properly, I think you'll have more success. And your build does matter from builds to builds, because especially the grade 1 ratio, there's a lot of different variations of how you can build Night Rose, and I think if you build it correctly and really pilot it, the deck performs extremely well. So honestly, these results do make sense to me. The only thing I was expecting was a little bit more Anj. We actually haven't seen that much Anj, and there's actually quite a few people that did take Anj, and I don't know exactly what happened to all of them. A lot of people took Steam Mains too, so don't really know what happened there, but I'm actually surprised that we haven't been seeing more Anj. I was expecting to see more, and we haven't. I thought the deck would be strong enough, especially since in BRO of last BRO we had Anj was performing really well with or without Q-Tire. The deck was actually really strong. It was a very represented deck, and a lot of people took it. So this is how EU looks like. It's a 50-50 split here. We had 4 Gear Chronicle, and then 1 Bermuda, 1 Great Nature, 1 Grand Blue, and 1 Royal Paladin. Oh, right, it's Ghosties. So this is not what the Ghosty was. So I had to like think about it. I was like, where's the deck? So it was obviously the 4 Gear Chronicle Steam Maidens, and then we had the Bermuda Triangle with Anj, and then we had the Great Nature, which is reverse Reload, and then we had Grand Blue with Ghosties, not Night Rose, and then we had 1 Royal Paladin. Now, something I mentioned in the past, I actually think Ghosties is a really strong deck. It is a little inconsistent, and I think Rose is slightly more consistent in terms of what happens, but Ghosty's ceiling is higher once it pops off. If it goes first, it's usually game over. That deck going first, and accelerating markers and everything, for strangely enough, that deck is really good. Like, it has a lot of multi-attack, and then recently got Make the Ghosty, which I haven't done a proper article on. I've been wanting to, and I've been putting it to the side. But don't sleep on Ghosties. Do not sleep on Ghosties. Not that I'm saying it's the best deck in the format, but it is a very, very strong deck. It is definitely up there with the other decks. Like I said, consistency-wise, it could use a little help, but Night Rose is not too far away on the consistency scale either. But the deck really performs well, really high shield value. You have interceptors. The only thing it really struggles with is retire, but even now with Make the Ghosty, you can actually just board wipe yourself, so you don't even really care about the interceptors anymore. Deck Mills really fast. Deck will see its combo pieces really quickly. Honestly, it's a very good contender. So that's no surprise. Reverse Leopold is another deck that people have been talking about throughout the Bureau going on this past couple days, and people have really been saying, "Oh wow, Leopold's really good." It's been pretty good. It's been good the whole time. Early on, like last year when we first got the first official results of like the new meta with the new quick collection, Leopold was on there along with Steam Maidens and a couple other decks. So not too surprising. The deck accelerates really fast. Has a lot of excel markers. You can build it 2 different ways. You can go for the resale with the Gorilla, or you can go the more consistent route. Either way, you both perform really well in their own ways. So you'll see that. Obviously, we have an Anj list here. Anj is just Anj. Force marker generation, lots of bouncing, lots of calling, lots of stuff, along with Moitra or Mortrea, the new promo that she kind of helps too, and the deck just accelerates pretty well. And then last but not least, we still have the Jewel Knights, because again, Jewel Knights is not a bad deck. It's not my favorite out of all the options. I don't think it's my favorite or the deck that I would never pick it to take to an event, but I do think it's strong, if that makes sense. So here's top 4 for EU. Now this one looks a lot more disgusting in my opinion. Not as friendly looking as the other ones. So this one is just 4 Steam Maidens. We're kind of back to what we were in the before. Not really a fan. I've actually talked about it a little bit out here. How I was like, I was expecting a little bit more diversity. Of course, top 8 looked okay, but then the same 4 Steam Maidens that we saw in top 4 all made it into top 8. Sorry, the same we saw in top 8 made it to top 4. So that's a problem. I don't like that, and I was expecting a little bit more diversity. I don't know what happened. I didn't watch the games. You know, it depends on who went first, who went second, how people played out the games, all that kind of stuff. I do think that there's definitely ways to battle out maidens, but obviously, you know, they still broke through. It is still best of 1, but regardless. We also have NA, which is my side, which is where I commentated, and NA honestly looked a little bit healthier. It looks a little weirder, but this definitely looked healthier than the other 2. I think this was more what I was expecting out of most of these. Not what I got, but this is actually more of what I was expecting. I was expecting 3 to 4 Gear Chronicle potential decks, and then after that it would be everything else. Like this is sort of what I was looking for. So in this case, we had 4 Gear Chronicle, one of which was MFD actually, which is another deck I've talked about in the past. I was saying like with the Dog Puppy out and with the grade 4 Uluru and everything, that this deck actually performs pretty well. And it's it's a little high roll. It kind of plays like an Astro Poets deck. You're running like 8 grade 1s and 8 grade 2s, and you really have to not G-assist, and you do need to be very cautious of that. G-assisting is very harsh in the deck, but the deck performs actually really well. It's been my side hobby deck, like my side mission deck. I take it whenever I really don't feel like just using other decks, and I just meme it up, and I just like to piss off my opponents. It's been really a blast doing that, so that's been really fun. But anyway, we also had a Malkuth deck on here, which is Angel Feather Malkuth, kind of like a different pace of deck. Very, very rare to see, but it did make it to top 8, so that's very good. And of course, we had the 1 gram blue, we had the Revenger deck, we had Luard, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the Steam Maidens. So also good stuff. Notice we do have Rose back on here, we do have Luard back on here, and no Anj again, which is also, again, to me, it was a little surprising. I was really expecting more Anj players, and I know there were definitely Anj players that competed, but I guess they just didn't make it, and that's unfortunate. You know, the deck does break every now and then. I do think the deck is good. Maybe it's not as good as I think it is. Maybe I'm gaslighting myself. I don't really know. I thought the deck was really strong. After testing it for literally months, I truly believe the deck performed pretty well, and I played into meta, I played into off meta, I played into rogue, I played into competitive players, I played into casual players. Like, I truly felt the deck was in a really good spot, but hey, results are results. Can't argue with that, so that's how it is. First place is 984 Smurth with Steam Maidens, and then we have second place Man Long, which is the person I mentioned, the really insane Luard player that I was talking about earlier. Very, 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 very well piloted this deck. It was insane to see how well he performed, which is kind of crazy, but it was really well done. And then we had Gurgit-san, which is someone I know, one of my dear friends, another dear friend of mine, who I work with a lot over for Provera community stuff, just in general. For the Discord stuff, he's helped me a lot with a lot of stuff, so it's very awesome to see him on here. And then we had T-Dub with Night Rose in 4th place. So 984 Smurf was our champion on our side of things, and actually we got a chance to interview him and talk to him. Really sweet, and I've actually had a couple conversations with him here and there. He's popped into my calls a couple times, just over in Discord, so it's just really nice to see him. Overall, I really enjoyed this top 4. It was a really fun time to watch. It was really fun to see everybody compete, so very excited stuff. Now that's BRO, but there actually is more. We had BSF Toronto as well. So we had the premium breakdown, which this looks exactly as I expected it to look. There's only one deck on here that I'm a little surprised to see, but that's about it. So here we have all 4. In first place, we have Steam Maidens back. It didn't go that far. And then we have the Highway to build with Q-Tire, and then we have Thavas. All very strong decks in my opinion, all very good decks in my opinion, and all just work. I think this is really good. Second place, we had, again, Highlander, this time with Deleters and also Steam Maidens. Again, just similarly, I also think that all these decks are good. I think the Deleters deck is actually pretty nuts sometimes. When it pops off like crazy. A lot of times people won't even know what you're doing, and then you start looping your multi-attacks, and then they just die. Third place, we had Bugs, which I do think that was correct. I think having Bugs over there, and with the So even Kagero, it kind of makes sense to me. It's not the greatest deck in the world, but it's still not a bad deck going first. Like that, along with also the Highlander build there as well. And again, Bug's got some new stuff recently. Got some Cocktail. They got the new Cocktail, which is a really good card for grade 2 gaming, just in general, just pissing off your opponent. Overall, just really good stuff. And honestly, I'm not too surprised that they made it through. I think these are 3 pretty good choices. I'm not as for the Kagero choice, but I think everything else is really good. I think people are sleeping a little bit on Bugs right now, so I'm glad to see that that's starting to show up. And then 4th place, who I know who these people are. If I'm not mistaken, this is Barry, Toku, and Megatrix. So it's really excited to see them in 4th place with Q-Tire, OTT, can't remember their names. Oh my gosh, Battle Sisters, and the Carol Harry deck that Megatrick brought, which I saw the list and I was a little confused. Like I kind of got it, but I was actually a little confused as to why. But you know what? I just didn't question it. I was just like, you know what? You know, he knows Pale Moon. He knows what he's doing. But overall, I was a little surprised by the Battle Sisters. Not that I'm saying Battle Sisters is bad. It's actually a pretty strong deck, and a lot of people again also don't know what to do against it. And it really shuts down like certain decks because of weird guard restricts. So because of those weird guard restricts, the deck can randomly pop off and just do stuff like that. I don't usually have a fear as a Grand Blue player. If you're playing Grand Blue, it's actually a very easy deck to play around. But if you're playing another deck, that deck gets very aggressive. It has some insane numbers and some insane pressure with guarding, so it can be very scary. So they're very interesting to see. It's definitely the pick I wasn't expecting, but it's up here. So very good stuff. So that's Premium Toronto. Also have Standard Toronto. So here is our 4. Now this is before Jet Meta. Jet Meta is not active yet, and very wonderful stuff here. So in 1st place we have Minerva, Leticia, and Ava. All very good decks. I think these are very good choices. So I honestly expected something like this. I was expecting more of like Ava, Youthberg, and something else, but this works too. All very good decks. I think very good choices. Minerva's going to be really good until probably Jet drops. And then we had 2nd place also Minerva with Roroa. Roroa got a lot of good support. Roroa's actually pretty good right now. I think Roroa's in a good spot. I don't think it's the best deck in the format by any means, but it's not a bad deck at all. Deck performs pretty well. Deck has a lot of aggression. You don't expect the multi-attack, and there's actually a multi-attack you can do through your hand, so you can kind of like sneak it in and be like a ninja about it, so that's really cool. And then we also had another Leticia, you know, Vanguard restaying deck. Very good stuff right there. 3rd place we had Magnolia, Ava, and Youthberg. Now that's something you don't expect to see. A lot of people kind of don't think Magnolia is that good right now, but I actually disagree. I think the deck's good. I don't think it's like the best deck in a format, but I do think you can take it and find success in it. 4th place, which is ideally what I would probably take, which is Youthberg, Flagberg, and Ava. Like if I was teaming up before Jet, this is probably the deck this is probably the list that I would perform with. Like this is probably what I'd go with. We'd have the Ava, would have the Youthberg, and probably had Flagberg. So again, Flagberg's just still Flagberg. It's still really good, still very aggressive, and obviously that's what we're seeing in top 4. So very good stuff. V Premium. So here we have V Premium again. This is for Toronto. So in V Premium, we had in 1st place Steamains, Luard, and Reverse, Leopold Reverse. All very good decks, all very good options. Obviously, 3rd place we had the Luard, and then we had the Chaos Breaker Messiah combo with Steamaiden. Also a very good choice because you can kind of annoy other Steamaiden players, make it hard to play around them, especially if you bump into them, and then you can just end their lives, and it's great. And then in 3rd place we had, I like this combination. This is I roll with this. This is the Leopold, Ange, and Steamaiden combo. I like this a lot. I think this is a really, really good combo. A lot of all 3 decks are farming. They farm like crazy, and then they just gotta do their thing. So also all very good decks. They don't really care about their matchups as much. They just kind of do their thing. Very, very good stuff to see. In the last place, in 4th, we have the Harry, Neo Nectar Reverse, Cecilia, and we had the Night Rose combination here. Also very interesting. I think the Neo Nectar one's a little odd along with the Harry pick, but hey, if you're not worried about retire so much, the Harry pick can be very aggressive and can finish games pretty well, and obviously Night Rose is still performing really well. They had a top 16 in Kyoto. Here's the breakdown. They had 11 Chrono Jets, 9 Messiah, which probably Messiah is doing pretty well. We had 9 Ava, 4 Ibisu, 3 Dragonic Overwear, 3 Minerva, 2 Ballista, 2 Velstra, 2 Magolon, whatever that means. That's a new snake guy. 2 Maelstrom, 1 Lutetia, 1 Archite, and 1 Leonorn. All pretty good decks. I think the only one, I'm gonna say this every time, Matt's probably gonna get mad at me, but I don't know about the Leonorn, but everything else makes sense to me. And I believe this was a team breakdown. I think this was a Vanguard Deluxe, so this was a team-based thing. This is what top 4 looks like, pretty much. That's how it ended off. And not to anyone's surprise, this is exactly how you would expect it to look like. A Jet in every single one, and a Bisu in most of them, and then, you know, Ava splattered everywhere, and also Messiah, because Messiah is actually pretty good too. So here we have 1st place Ava, Ibisu, and Jet. All very good decks, all very strong. Obviously this is in Japan meta, so they do have the Ibisu active. Even with the restrictions, she's still they're very strong decks. 2nd place we had Jet, and then the Snake Guy, and then we had Messiah. All very good picks. I think these are all very good choices as well. And then for 3rd place we had Ava, Jet, and Ibisu, the exact same lineup, just in different seed order. Fourth place, we had Ava, Messiah, and Jet. All very well picked decks. I think all very strong decks. This is not too surprising. Funnily enough, because these Jets are all out of order, the only ones that would have faced each other, like, mirror-wise would be right? If they do it in like that, like this would be face this, you know, type of stuff. So very interesting stuff. I wonder how that happened, but otherwise, overall really good stuff. That is pretty much all the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was insightful in any way. I don't have as much information for this one because obviously I don't know Ibisu. I don't know the Snake Guy too well, but hey, Jet is still Jet, Ava is still Ava. Those are things that are facts. That's still. And Messiah recently just came out actually, and Messiah is actually a pretty decent deck. I don't know if it's better than Jet. I don't think it's better than Jet based on what I read and what I saw. Theoretically speaking, I don't think it's better than Jet, but I don't know. I'll probably still be getting the set just because I want to try it out. And I've never played Messiah before. However, Messiah to me out of the box seems still really strong. It's still a contender. Obviously, we're seeing results here, and I think it's Ava. It's actually in a pretty rough spot. However, I don't know if it's the best deck to take or a deck that you want to consider. But hey, if you're a big Messiah player and you want to play Link Joker to your heart's desire, go for it. Go play it. It looks fun. It looks great. It looks adventurous. It locks some stuff, buys some stuff. Kind of a little bit of everything. It's just a little piece for light. From what I understood, when I read the cards, as the first thing I said, it is not a toolbox deck like Jet, which means that you have to draw into whatever it is that you need to do whatever it is that you have to do. And that to me felt like a problem. Not that I'm saying the deck's bad, but the fact that you have to hard draw into majority of the stuff you need means you have to draw a lot. And since you can't toolbox like Jet, it already, I feel like, puts it at a tier below Jet. Even if the power level and the multi-attack is strong and the stride turn is good, the fact that you still have to see certain pieces in certain order still, I feel like, makes the deck function less. Whereas Jet over here can tutor out pretty much any card from its deck at all times and just keeps doing its thing. There's a reason why people grade 2 game the deck, because they're too scared of the stride, because the stride is just that strong. Okay, guys, that's all. That was a lot of talking. Hope you guys enjoyed all of that. Hope you guys enjoyed BRO. Hope you guys enjoyed BSF Toronto. Congratulations to everybody today or the last couple days that have performed really well. Congratulations to Kyoto folks. Hope you guys had a great time over in your format, in the Vanguard Deluxe format. Hope it was fun. Hope it was exciting. I'm really excited to see more results. It's the beginning of a lot of results. We're gonna start seeing a lot more BSFs coming through, including myself. I'll be entering quite a few of them as well. So stay tuned for all that information. As always, if you liked what you saw here today, please subscribe to kind of keep that flow going. It's free.com, free99.com. What are you waiting for? Hit that button and give me a like too while you're at it. But anyway, other than that, guys, don't get peace out. That's Vanya. I'll see you guys in a future video. Bye.